What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, if you like what you see, hit that like button. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. Now let's get caught up on that second Countercade project that you've heard so much about. Kind of had it going on in the background. We're going to start by disassembling it completely. And the idea is to swap over to a horizontal monitor. So we're going to have to take out the current monitor support panel. Carefully take out the support panel. And you're also going to get a close-up look at that Geek Sales HDMI Breakout kit. It's a nice kit. Now, when you actually take off the side art graphics, I would definitely recommend using a heat gun. If you tear that with your hand, it's just going to pull, leave that paper residue behind. It'll be a pain to clean up. Heat gun's definitely the way to go. Alright, so because my monitor does not have an audio output, I'm going to go ahead and remove the two stock speakers that are located inside the housing. I'm going to unplug that from the board and plug in another set of speakers that I have purchased from Amazon, and then I'll relocate that somewhere else in the cabinet. So if you're smarter than me and your monitor actually has an audio output, you can go ahead and skip this step. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, so I just decided to go ahead and fabricate a brand new monitor support panel for this monitor. And I just traced that shape out, cut that all the way through the panel because the thickness of this this housing is about a ½ inch. So to secure this monitor into its housing, we're really just going to do like a press fit on the front there. I'm going to tape this to hold it in place, and then I'm going to fill the void around the monitor with hot glue. I intentionally made that a little bit large so that we could do this, and I think this is going to be plenty. Should be enough to actually secure the monitor in the housing. I don't think in the panel. I don't believe a two-part epoxy is really necessary here. Alright, after the glue is completely dried, we're going to go ahead and test fit this inside the cabinet. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have to relocate this top angle bracket here. Control panel time. So I wanted to reuse the stock control panel I got from, not the stock control panel, but the one I got from Tulsa Arcades. And it's just not going to work for my application because I have to add a third button on top there. So I'm going to have a total of 9 buttons. So I'm going to use this as sort of a reference. I'm going to trace out the buttons that I actually want to stay where they are, and then take some measurements, and then basically just lay out a grid on my PCMDF here. And then that's going to help me locate all the other buttons. So we're going to drop those 4 buttons down and then add a third button on the top. Obviously leaving the hole for the joystick. But when I was finished, this is what I ended up with. And now you can see the comparison between my panel and the Tulsa Arcade panel. Now it fit pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and mark the notches. So with these 2 panels completely fabricated, now I'm going to paint the undersides of the control panel and then the front side of the monitor. Go ahead and paint that a flat black. Taping off the monitor, obviously not to get any overspray. We're going to let this sit overnight, and I'm going to put this back together, and then we're going to do a little test to see if it all works. Alright, with everything put back together, let's go ahead and plug in the PS1, and nah, the heck with that. How about we try something a little smaller than the PS1 Classic? Something a little more powerful than the PS1 Classic. How about let's use the system we're actually going to run in this cabinet? This is a console that I've had sort of kicking around for a while. I'm not really doing anything with it. It's fairly rare. It goes by actually a couple names. PS Vita TV, PlayStation TV, depending on when you pick this up. Sometimes it comes with a DualShock 3 controller. And it's going to allow me to play one of my favorite games of all time in what is probably my favorite series of games of all time. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to wrap this project up this week. I'm still waiting on the lit marquee to come in, and I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with the bezel. But if you haven't figured out what the theme is yet, well, here's another clue. I can't wait to get this thing wrapped up. I'll see you next time.